Gonna make sure that it's live. I'll just give it a good 15 seconds. Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to today's. I'm gonna stream it public because, for whatever reason, as I was driving to school from church, the video got cut off, so I'm just gonna, really give like a good, 5-minute reflection, because basically I have talked in detail about the 10 Commandments and a lot of stuff like that. So I'm really, really sorry if I didn't, get the chance to talk about all that, but I'm gonna, make sure, to stream it later on. But today we celebrate the memorial of St. Clare, and one of the things to really know about St. Clare is the fact that she is very, very poor, so she have helped to serve, the poor people, so that way, they themselves can get, closer to God. And we remember what the first beatitude, it is stated, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." So what does it mean to be poor in spirit? Poor in spirit doesn't necessarily need to be money, and so therefore I am poor, I don't have a house, I don't have shelter. That's not what it means to be poor in spirit. Poor in spirit is having the urgent need for God. Because there are times where we don't have everything that, God has set for each and every one of us. So we need to rely on God to help guide each and every one of us throughout our journey in faith. And one of the other things that St. Clare did, as I read the article from I read the article about St. Clare, is the fact that she spends a lot of time in prayer. And prayer is very, very important, because this is what helps us enhance in the spirit to which God has set for each and every one of us. And with that being said, we have today's first reading where God has been calling each and every one of us. What is it that the Lord heard ask of you? But to love the Lord with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and to keep the 10 Commandments. And the 10 Commandments, I have explained in much detail in the drive, but I'm not going to be explaining in this video because, I want to, keep a little bit, short for now, and then, maybe later when I drive from school to work, then I may, explain more about the 10 Commandments, maybe. But anyways, anywho, we should keep the 10 Commandments because this is something that the Lord has set for each and every one of us. And the 10 Commandments is something that allows us to love the Lord our God more. For there are 2 greatest commandments. The first 3, loving the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind. And that is just like the first 3 commandments about loving God. This is how we can love God, by following the first 3 commandments. And then the 4th through the 10th is loving our neighbors as ourselves. This is something that we should really take into consideration when it comes to loving the Lord your God. Because why is that? It also mentions in the first reading that we ourselves want to get to heaven. Just like how Abraham, through God, had promised to really, really, really bring Isaac so that he can see many, many descendants, which is, from the stars. So what does this remind each and every one of us? Each and every one of us are called to fulfill God's promise throughout our daily lives. And then in the gospel today, we hear 2 things. First thing, if we remember, let's go back to, Lent for just a second. Where, it is the time where Jesus is actually dying. Why is that? For each and every one of us. For the sake of each and every one of us. Because we ourselves sin a lot. So, what exactly in the gospel does Jesus say? Well, it is really stated that the Son of Man is going to be handed over to the Jews. And this was in Galilee, by the way. He was going to be handed over to the Jews, where he's going to be killed, and then on the third day, he's going to be raising again from the dead. So, what does this each and every one of us? What does this tell us? We ourselves are asked to continue to follow God for each and every day, as this is a calling that God had really set for each and every one of us. And then the second thing is that in the gospel today, we hear that we have to pay whatever we have to pay, because it is stated that Peter is going to go fishing, and then the first fish that he catches, he's going to open its mouth and then grab the coin to pay for Jesus' own sake and for our own sake. So what does this tell each and every one of us here today? It reminds each and every one of us that we have to offer ourselves to God, because whatever belongs to God goes to God. Whatever belongs to our family goes to our family. Whatever belongs to, Caesar goes to Caesar. Whatever belongs to the government goes to the government. But we ourselves should strive to work towards giving to other people what belongs to other people. So for instance, some of the way that we can give to God what belongs to God is to preach other people the good news, to which God has taught each and every one of us, because we ourselves learn more about God each and every day. And so by bringing the good news to other people, this is something that we can do, bring others closer to God, as this is something that God has set for each and every one.